thanks for tuning in for another workout with me. Today's workout is going to be all about doing exercises that are standing up on our feet. So it is a little bit more of an advanced workout given the fact that it does require a decent amount of balance in order to perform these exercises safely. So please proceed with caution and know your limits. This workout works really best with a reformer that has a platform extender, so make sure you have that handy if you do have one. If not, there are certain exercises that you might just need to adjust accordingly to still make them work, but for the most part it should be okay. Alright, so we're going to be starting on one red spring or one heavy spring, and we're going to start in an elephant position. So go ahead and hold on to the foot bar with your hands, step on up, walk your heels back to your shoulder rests. Drop your chest heavy through your arms, keeping the carriage in tight to the stopper to begin. Stay here, just bend and extend your knees a couple of times. Just waking up the backs of those legs. Nod the head yes and no. Attempt to internally rotate your arms a little bit, shining the armpits backwards towards your knees. Begin to gently rock the carriage back and forth a couple of inches, keeping those heels down to the best of your ability. If you need to soften your knees, feel free. Draw the carriage all the way in. Take your right hand, grab a hold of the outside of your left calf or ankle. Pull yourself underneath that left shoulder a little bit. Again, option to rock the carriage back and forth. Option to bend and extend the knees. Replace the right hand. Take your left hand, grab a hold of the outside of your right calf, pull yourself under. Feel free to bend and extend the knees. Rock the carriage back and forth. Alrighty. Replacing your hand, we'll go ahead and come into down stretch to begin. So 2 feet against their shoulder rests, knees down on the carriage. Place the heels of your hands on the foot bar in line with your shoulders. And I like to have the heels of the hands so that we're not bending our wrists. The heels of the hands will help keep the wrists straight in line with the forearm. The first thing you're going to do is establish a modified plank position. Anchor your scapulas out of your ears, squeeze your glutes, and keep a slight scoop of the tail. So we're not sagging through our back, shoulders, or elbows. From this position, begin to slide the carriage out, hinging from the shoulders, laying the thighs down onto the carriage, and then pull yourself forward, lift your chest, look up towards the ceiling a little bit. Let's do an inhale, press out. Exhales, pull forward. Again, inhales, press out. Exhales, pull forward. You should have enough spring tension here on this red that it's not the most challenging thing in the world here right now on our abdominals, though they are super tight to our spine, protecting our back. Really just trying to get connected to our breathing, get connected to our lats. One more there. Then we'll bring it into a child's pose, hips to heels. Rest. Moving into long stretch. Place the balls of the feet again right against the shoulder rest. Heels of the hands at the tops of the foot bar. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, and come into a full plank here. All 10 fingers are pointing to the same side of the bar. Wrist is neutral, so it's not turned in or turned out. Your arms are straight. They're connected to your back. Your glutes are tight. Keeping the shape of your body the same. This is much different than the last exercise. You're going to slide the carriage out as far as you can maintain good form. And then exhale as you pull forward so that your shoulders arrive directly over your wrists. Inhale as you push backwards. Keep your head up in line with your spine. Exhale as you pull forward. 2 more. Inhale, push back. Pause there, and then exhale, pull forward. One more time. Inhale, push back. Exhale, pull forward. You can gently place the knees down, set the hips down onto the heels, child's pose. Okay, then we're gonna do up stretch. We'll do it 3 times in each direction, and then we'll be getting off of our wrists. I know it's a lot right off the bat, but we can do it. Okay, so on the balls of the feet, with your feet right against your shoulder rests, start with the carriage into the stopper. If you have a hard time getting into this position, bend the knees. Otherwise, keep the legs straight. From here, the first thing we're gonna do is come forward into high plank, shoulders over the bar, head lifts up in line with the spine. From this position, press the carriage out as far as you can with good form. Then freeze the shoulders in space, pike the hips to the ceiling, and come back into elephant stretch. Again, shift your shoulders forward over the top of the bar. Slide out, 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 pushing through the heels of the hands. Then pike the hips to the ceiling, draw the carriage into the stopper. One more time in this direction. Shift forward, soft elbows. Slide out, keep your head in line with your spine. Don't look at your legs until you pike the hips, pull the carriage in. Plant the feet flat onto the carriage, find an open hand grip, and give the carriage a little rock back and forth. Let's reverse it 3 times as well. High heels, feet against the blocks. So keep your shoulders where they are. Push the carriage out without moving the shoulders. Lower the hips, lift the head. Draw the carriage forward, shoulders above the bar, and lift the hips up into elephant. Carriage stays into the stopper and drop the head. Again, slide the carriage out without moving your shoulders. Lower your hips into that final long plank. Pull forward for a regular plank and elephant stretch. We've got one more. Inhale, press out. Lower the hips, lift the head, exhale, pull forward, and we made it. Take it into elephant, plant the feet flat, find an open hand grip, and spread your fingers wide. Okay, good job. Next, we're gonna be going into our high split or lunges. So again, please be careful with these exercises. They're not easy. You're gonna have the left ball of the foot against the left shoulder block, and then you're going to hold onto the bar with your hands, recruit your core, and place the right arch of your foot on the top of the bar. Again, I would keep my spring the same on this red. However, if you need a little bit more support, you could add on another light spring, like a white or a yellow. It's always a good idea to keep your hands on the bar as you're getting used to this exercise. You could kind of come up onto your fingertips, lift your chest, and widen your collarbone. We slide the carriage out as far as we can, getting the front leg as straight as we can, and then come forward. Now, this isn't the actual exercise, but this is a good little prep so we know where we are going for our front splits. Okay, so if you know what you're doing, which I hope you do because this is not easy, you're gonna bring your hands onto the hips, find balance, and drop your tail. We're gonna be lifted up in a more upright position. We push out with our front leg, getting it as straight as we can. And then using that hamstring muscle, drag the carriage back in towards the stopper. Pick a focal point and stick to it. Aim to do about 5 or 6 of these. Keeping your back leg nice and straight. Keeping your abs tight, your hips and shoulders level. And you might notice your left inner thigh kicking in, because mine's definitely talking to me. When you finish 5 or so, hold on to the bar as you come in, replace your right foot, shake it out carefully, and then we're going to be doing the other side. Okay, so right ball of the foot against the shoulder rest, high heel. Left foot up onto the center of the bar, in line with your left hip. Be on the arch or on the ball of your foot, whatever is going to be most comfortable and so that you're not going to lose your grip. Fingertips on the bar. Just start to slide out and in a few times here. If nothing else, this is a really nice stretch for that left hamstring as we travel back and forth. Getting a feel for how much tension we have supporting us. Okay. And then same thing, we're going to aim to do 5 full sets. Bring your hands to your hips, lift your chest, drop your tail. You're going to press out, extend the front leg as straight as you can. And then pull your heel towards your tush as you drag the carriage in. Inhale, press away. Exhale, pull forward. Take your time, stay focused. Finishing up your last 2. And your last time. When you finish, replace your hands onto the bar, replace your foot onto the carriage, and carefully make your way down to your knees and take a quick breath. All right, next we'll be moving into some inner thigh work. So we're gonna put our foot bars down. Change your spring setting to your lightest or second to lightest. So for me, that would be a white, which is really, really light, or a blue, which is second to lightest. I'm gonna do the white. I'll torture myself with you guys. And then balanced body, you could do a yellow, which is gonna be your lightest, or a blue, which will be your second to lightest. So either way, we have only one spring on, and it's a very, very light one, or second to lightest one. Platform extenders are great for this. If you have it, place it on, make sure it is flush to the wood. You can certainly do this exercise without the platform, okay? So stand, I like to stand behind the reformer. And then you always place your stable foot on your first foot onto the stable side, so that would be your platform. And then your other foot is going to come up onto the carriage, usually about a third of the way out onto the reformer here. We want 10 toes pointing straight ahead today, and then hands to hips standing nice and tall. It's light, so be careful. You're going to slide the carriage out as far as you can, maintaining 2 straight legs, neutral pelvis, and then use the strength of your inner thighs to drag the carriage all the way back into the stopper, growing taller through your spine. Again, it's an inhale to press the carriage out. Keep your tailbone pointing down towards the ground, hip bones forward, grow taller as you pull the carriage all the way back in. Let's do that 2 more times. If you're not feeling this in your inner thighs by now, there's a chance you might need to either A, step your foot further out towards the headrest, or B, lighten your spring more, because it should be burning. On this one here, keep the carriage in really tight to the stopper. Both legs are magnetically drawing in towards each other. We're not just like hanging out with our weight in one leg. Squeeze tight. We're going to extend the arms out to the side, shoulder height. Slide the carriage out a little bit less than you just did. Keep the carriage where it is, twist, opposite hand touching opposite foot. Stand back up without moving the carriage. Rotate to the other side, opposite hand to opposite foot. Stand back up, and then drag the carriage back into the stopper, lowering your arms down to your thighs. Let's do that 3 more times. So we go out, twist towards the carriage foot first. Try not to send your hips hurling behind you. And then pull the carriage in, grow taller through your spine. 2 more. Out, twist, inhale, stand. Exhale, twist. Inhale, stand. And pull in. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Inhale, stand. Exhale, twist. Inhale, stand. Exhale, pull the hands to the hips, squeeze the carriage in tight to the stopper, and then carefully stand onto the platform if you have one, perhaps step down if you don't have one, and then we'll turn around and we'll repeat everything on the other side. So one foot on the platform, other one about a third of the way out onto the carriage. Feet parallel, pointing straight ahead, hands to hips. We're doing 4 of everything, so just 4 times slide out. You go a little bit farther than you'll be going when we do our rotations. Exhale, grow taller, pull the carriage in tight to the stopper. Again, inhale, slide out. 2 straight legs, tailbone down. Exhale, pull in. 2 more, inhale, press out. And exhale, pull in. All the way every time. Last one. And exhale in. Squeeze really hard. Both legs squeezing in towards each other. You can bring your arms down by your sides. We've got 4 of these. We slide the carriage out a little less than before because these are harder. You're going to rotate the carriage foot first, stand up without moving the carriage, rotate to the platform first, second, plat foot first, second, stand up, and then grow taller and come back in. 3 more sets. Out, hold the carriage still as you twist to the carriage foot, stand, take your time, platform foot, stand, and pull in. 2 more. And this should be building, getting progressively harder and harder with each one that we do. Hang in there. Don't rush through it. Oh, we got 1 more. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. As I said, don't rush through it. Last time. Inner thighs are definitely my least favorite muscle group to work out because it always burns so much. All right, now hands to hips, hold. Grow really tall, straight knees, neutral spine, and carefully stand onto the platform extender and shake it out, or you can step down if you need to. You can also adjust your spring. We're gonna be doing a little plank here just to give our legs a break before we go back into our lunges. So same thing, blue will be your heavier setting if you're on Marathu or balanced body. And then the white or the yellow. If you're on Marathu, use the white. If you're on balanced body, use the yellow. If you're wanting this to be really hard, okay? So we have feet together with our toes right at the edge of the platform. Take an inhale, sweep your arms all the way up overhead. Hands come through heart center, forward fold all the way down. Once down with your hands, if you need to bend your knees, that's fine. You're gonna walk your hands out so that your thumbs come behind your shoulder rests and your other 8 fingers are to the outside of the shoulder rest. Your arms are straight with your shoulders directly above your wrists, looking towards your headrest. Squeeze the legs together tightly. Begin to press the carriage forward and backwards, back to its starting point. Exhale as you push forward. Inhale as you pull under. Don't be super quick to pull it under. Take your time. 1 more. Shoulders under the wrists, lift the hips, and now walk your hands to your feet as you roll the carriage into the stopper, and then slowly continue to roll yourself all the way up to an upright position. Shoulders come up, down, and back. Next, we'll be doing some lunges facing the headrest here still. So I would stick to your second lightest spring. So I'm going to be on my blue for that. I'm going to keep this blue spring. Left toes right at the edge of the platform. Right foot, be careful, this is a balance exercise. Right foot is going to come forward about halfway onto the carriage. You want your feet in line with their respective hips. Then you're going to lift your back heel high, coming onto the ball of your foot. Ooh. And then bring your hands to your hips, okay? Hip bones facing forward, back heel high. The back leg is going to remain straight throughout the entire exercise. The front leg is the one that we are moving and bending. So bend your front knee, go down into a low lunge. Then from there, stand all the way back up, pull the carriage in, tap the stopper. Exhale as you go down. Inhale, rise up. Keep your shoulders above your hips, so you're not leaning forward. Feel that nice stretch through that left hip flexor as you go down into the lunge. Your next lunge, be careful. You're going to hold it. Perhaps don't go as low for this one. Extend your front leg forward and pull it under. Forward and pull it under. Notice what's going on with your left inner thigh. It should be doing a lot of work to help keep this left leg straight and anchored behind you. One more. Bend the front knee. Sink your hips incredibly low. Plant the hands behind the shoulder rests and step back into your plank with your feet together at the edge of the platform. Shoulders above the wrists, looking at your headrest. From here, press the carriage forward and back a few times. Again, taking your time. Exhale forward. Inhale under. And one more time, exhale forward. And inhale under. Lift the hips up, walk your hands to your feet, bend the knees if you need to or want to, and take your time, rolling yourself up to standing. Take your shoulders up to your ears and down your back. Okay, other side. So right toes at the edge of the platform, so you have something to push against. Left foot is going to move forward, about halfway onto the carriage, carefully. Lift the back heel up nice and high. Take your hips, point them straight ahead, take your tailbone, drop the tailbone down. Stack your shoulders, find your focus. When you're ready, bend your front knee, sink the hips low. Inhale, stand back up, carriage taps the stopper. Again, exhale, lunge. Inhale, rise. Once you get in the groove of it, see if you can almost enjoy it a little bit. Relax into the lunge, relaxing the right hip flexor so that you can get deep. I think these feel good, but it might just be me. Two more. Keep that back leg as straight as you can. Tight hip flexors will limit you from getting it completely straight. All right, in our next lunge, we're gonna stay in it. Press your front leg forward. Pull it back under, knee over ankle, push forward. Knee stops over ankle, that's it. Keep the back leg straight. This was such a good one for your ankles. All the stabilization going on. Bend the front knee, sink the hips low, plant the palms, thumbs behind the blocks, and step back, high plank, feet together. Shoulders above the wrists, hold it. This time, let's change it. Draw your right knee to your left elbow. Press it out. Draw your left elbow, or your left knee to your right elbow. Opposite elbow, opposite knee. Continuously alternating. Keep your carriage still. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 feet on the platform. Bend the knees. Place the knees down. Let the carriage come in. Take a child's pose. You can crawl forward more if you need to, if you ran out of space. Just breathe for a second. Okay. Next is speed skaters. So we're going to lift the platform up if you have one on. Change it to, so I like to do a blue and a white for this. The red spring for me on this Marathon is just, it's like really, really heavy. So the blue and the white is kind of my in-between. If you're on balanced body, again, you could also do a red or just do a blue and a white, or blue and a yellow, okay? So that being said, you're gonna, again, get back onto the reformer, standing on the stable platform first, and then your other foot is gonna go onto the carriage. Your feet are gonna be close together, right at their respective edges, and then you're gonna start by kind of wrapping your big toe and a little bit of your heel around the edge of the carriage. Slide it out just about 12 inches so there's spring tension. Ideally, the carriage never comes any closer to the platform than it is right now. So we're never gonna let it come in more than it is right now. That's what makes this so hard. Bring your hands onto your hips. Come into a squat. So send your hips backwards. Pull your abs in. Keep the natural arch in your lumbar spine. And we're gonna, you guys count, I'm gonna count 2, or try. We're gonna press the carriage leg out 15 times, quickly. You're gonna keep your hip, knee, and ankle of your working leg, or sorry, of your stable leg, all over the platform extender. So we're not out in la la land here. There's a lot of things to think about. The main muscles that you should be feeling right now are your glutes and your thighs, both legs. If you finish 15 and you don't feel a burn, keep going. If you lost count, just keep going with me. And that feels about right, so bring the carriage in, give those buns a little smackaroo. Turn yourself around. If you're on the platform, please stand on the platform and then turn. Okay, feet parallel, right at their respective edges. Slide out about 12 inches to begin, hands to hips. Squat it down, here we go. Press the carriage leg out and in. Keep your supporting hip over the platform extender. And the second side is going to be harder, hang in there. Keep your tempo if you can. All right, I don't know if that was 15, but it was burning a lot. So carefully come down from there. Let's take a figure 4. Have a seat on the reformer, feet on the floor. Cross either ankle first over your knee, lean forward and rest. Switch legs, and definitely gets my heart rate up too. All right, next we're gonna be changing our springs down so that we're only on one blue spring. That should be suitable for everyone, no matter what reformer. If for some reason that feels too light for you, not enough support, go ahead and add on a heavier spring. We're just gonna be doing some stretching. So come onto your knees facing the headrest. You're gonna start with the ball of your left foot against the platform. I also like to place the headrest up so that you can place the ball of your right foot right at the crease where your headrest begins to lift up here. Hands are gonna rest on top of the shoulder rests. You're gonna tuck the back toes, Lift your knee and come into a low lunge and just hold it here. So now you truly get to enjoy that hip flexor stretch that I was mentioning before. Lift your chest as much as you can and make sure you're not hyperextending your elbows. Soften them. Deep breaths. Place the heel of your left hand right at the edge of the carriage. Extend your right arm to the ceiling and twist. Open, look up at that right hand. Extend your back leg even straighter. Continue opening that right arm behind you, thumb facing the ceiling. Turn your head, look as far back over that shoulder as you can. Bend your elbow, reaching your back of your right hand to your left hip. We'll come out of it the way we got into it, so re-extend that right arm behind you. Reach it all the way back up. Place two hands back onto top of the shoulder rest. Lift the hips to the ceiling, extend your front leg as straight as it'll go, and lean forward. If this is enough of a stretch, stay here. My back heel is high. If you would like more of a stretch, gently push the carriage forward as if you're sliding out into the splits, and then pull it back under. Again, forward, and just keeping your head down. And definitely keeping your head down as you lift the hips, pull the carriage in. Keep your hips square. Breathe. And one more time. To get out of this, we're going to come back into low lunge, bend your front knee, and then bend the back knee. The carriage will come in and you can place your knee down there. Ball of the right toes are going to go right against the platform extender. Place the ball of your left foot right at the crease in your headrest. Hands are on the shoulder blocks. Lift your back knee, lift your chest, and come into low lunge. Back leg is as straight as it goes. Elbows are soft. Hold, breathe. Place the heel of your right hand at the edge of the reformer. Carefully open your left arm, twist, look up at the left hand. Open the left arm behind you, thumb facing the ceiling. Bend the left elbow, bring the back of your left hand against your right hip, turn your head even more. Slowly reach your arm back behind you, up, and then back onto the shoulder blocks. Extend the front leg straight, draw the carriage in, take a forward fold, keeping the back heel high. Keeping the front leg straight, slide out as much as you personally can for a hamstring stretch. And then pike the hips, pull it back in. Flow through that a few more times. There's a chance you might be more comfortable with your hands down on the carriage, about at the halfway point, depending on your flexibility and your arm length. For me, this is feeling a little bit better down here. Two more. And finishing up your last time. You'll bend your front knee. Then once you've done that, bend the back knee, and then you can place your knee down onto the carriage. We'll let the carriage come in. Carefully turn yourself around so you're facing towards the foot bar. Place the feet between the shoulder rests and the knees apart, almost as wide as the reformer. Take your hands onto your shoulder blocks with your thumbs facing away. Press your hips forward. Take a nice quad stretch. Keep your gaze forward. Unless you know it's okay on your neck, you can let your head go backwards. Soften your elbows. Gently place the hips back down. Reach your left arm up to the ceiling. Push the hips forward. Turn your head and look down at your right hand. If you're more flexible, bend that right elbow to get deeper. Straighten the right arm and then place the hips back down. Left hand's on the shoulder rest. Right arm comes up. Stand up onto your knees. Squeeze the glutes. Push the hips forward. Look down at your left hand. Bend the left elbow. Re-extend the left arm straight. Place the hips back down. We'll finish in a child's pose. You can place your hands on the platform in front of you, set your hips to your heels, and slide out. Take a nice big inhale in through the nose, feel the ribs expand. Exhale it all out. Keeping your hips on your heels, roll the carriage in. Restack the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Bring your hands on top of your thighs. Take your shoulders up to your ears, roll them down your back. Keep them there the rest of your day. Thank you so much for doing this standing workout with me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like this video and share it with your friends and family, and be sure to subscribe to The Eye, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.